guys, welcome to Mika Reaction Reviews, where we reaction reviews to things on the internet. Same day, same shirt, different video. And today I just reacted to a quick little montage that I came across on Twitter. It's called Give Me a Good Reason Why Women Shouldn't Fear This, and it was uploaded by Marana Medvin. You might think that this has something to do with Islam or Muslim religion as a whole, and not necessarily. That's not why I posted this, and that's not why I'm reacting to it necessarily. And I'm not reacting to it either because of the situation of what's going on in the Middle East at the moment. I don't know why this person reacted to it. I don't know what their core beliefs are or anything like that. So if, I don't know if she's super far right or super religious or I don't know. I just came across it, and because I know a little bit of history when it comes to especially Iran. I didn't know about the other countries, but Iran for sure, because I've had Iranian friends who've told me about the history of it and how they feel about the fact that their government and their society and their culture is completely ran by a religious sector and how that changed their culture. My point of reacting to this is how fast society can change and how fast a country and culture and mindsets and mentality and beliefs and morals and values can actually change. I think people really underestimate it because they haven't experienced it in their lifetime, so they just think it could like never happen. It is something to be noted that a lot of these countries were taken over by a religious belief or a religious ideology. Like for me, for instance, and I know some of you are going to disagree with me and maybe this is a cheap dig, but I think for a lot of red pill men, that's a fantasy, that's a dream. So this idea that only the Islamic states can become this for women, I think most religions can become this for women. I'm not saying that if you are Christian right now and you're watching this channel, that's what you want, but there are people who want that in some sort of way. Maybe it wouldn't be a hijab or a burqa, but it will be fucking covered up, and that's why people are literally freaking out if a girl has shorts above her knees on Instagram these days. Some men are freaking out about it. That was my point, and it doesn't have to be religious when it comes to your typical mainstream religions. It can be just an ideology, period, that is strong enough and has enough power behind it that it can change your culture for the worse. There's nothing necessarily wrong with society evolving and progressing and changing. I think a lot of the sky is falling, sort of like fanaticism that I see going on today on both sides of the coin is a little bit much, and it's usually due to like really petty things. Again, like, I don't know, people deciding not wanting to have babies so much, or people not changing their idea of what they feel like marriage is for them personally, making personal decisions that how they want to live their lives. And you see people like on the internet like freaking out about it because people are deciding not to live the way you feel like people should live. That's a little bit much for me, and a lot of it's petty and a lot of it's a distraction. I think for the most part people aren't paying attention to the bigger pictures of how our culture can be changing, right? The idea of not wanting to live in a society that's pro freedom of speech, the idea of not wanting to live in a society that's pro body autonomy, meaning you are not forced to inject yourself with something you don't want to be injected with, the idea of living in a society that people are pro locking people into their homes so they cannot make a living for their family, the idea of normalizing young people, young kids mutilating their bodies and transforming it permanently to the way that it would affect the rest of their lives, the idea of clouding the boundaries when it comes to sexual conversations between an adult and a child, the idea of changing what sexuality should be and what is appropriate when it comes to the MAPS community that's slowly creeping into the LGBTQ plus that most people part of that community are against, but it's still creeping up there. So it's not just religion, Western religion, that can take over society and the culture and change it in the blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things, but it's an ideology that's treated like a religion, like we seen during pandemic times when that was treated like a religion, or when we see with Black Lives Matter that turned into a giant scam, even though maybe most people behind it had good intentions, bowing down into the streets of New York as if it's a church or as if it's their God. just because you don't have a theological religion does not mean you are not fanatical and does not mean you are not religious. So I think most people need to pay attention to the bigger things and be concerned about the bigger things, not what people are doing in their personal lives that's not really affecting you in the grand scheme of things. So that's why I reacted to that. It had really nothing to do with the Middle Eastern conflict going on today. It's really not to demonize just one religious sector. I just reacted to that because I think because people haven't lived through it, just like people haven't lived through living in North Korea and they don't really know what a real dictatorship feels like, and so they're okay with socialism and giving people one group of people or one person all the power in the world. They don't understand what this type of shift in culture feels like. So a lot of people like take it for granted, you know what I mean? That's it. That's and what do we do about that? I think we just keep an eye on it. Anyway, guys, tell me guys, what do you think of this? Do you think that this ever can become America, whether it's that or whether it's another sort of totalitarian regime under some different ideology? Let me know if you think this is pushing it, if this is much. Anyway, let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Donate. It helps keep me on this platform. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.